XYZ, address of a point is a vector. Notation, you just give a name to your vector. For example, I here called it P for point. Okay. To note that this is a vector, it really involves 3 coordinates. You put an arrow on top. Okay. So if you write something without an arrow, it just means just one number, one ordinary number. If you write something with an arrow, it means it really has 2 or 3, depending on your system, numbers underlying it. And the arrow actually means something more than that. We know that coordinates, in reference to an origin, give you an address, tell you how to get from that origin to this point. So you are getting from somewhere to somewhere. If you give 3 numbers plus you know what system of coordinates those numbers refer to, then that's equivalent to a precise way of getting from the 0 point to that point. So that's directions, an address, just like when you give somebody an address to go to your apartment. Okay? So that's what the arrow means. Whenever you are giving 3 numbers, 2 numbers, that's an address, and it refers to an origin, so it gets you from that origin to this point, so you put an arrow. Is this clear? So vector is more than a number because it has 2 or 3 numbers, or maybe more numbers, depends on what you are talking about. It's a richer thing than an ordinary number, and to get to that set of coordinates from the origin of your coordinates means there's a direction. So it's a quantity with a direction. Okay? Now this is also a vector. Here is a 2-dimensional situation. XY plane. And here is your point P there. Okay? Well, let me use black. Here is our origin. Here is our origin. Okay. This is in 2 dimensions. What about in 1 dimension? Do you think we can have vectors in 1 dimension? 1 dimension means your address is on a straight line. Just one street exists. Okay? What's a vector now? What do you think? There is a 0. Okay, so I have one street. The whole world of addresses is just one street. And in the middle of the street is a big square. Okay? And that's your 0 point. Now, along that street, either way are some addresses, some coordinates. How many numbers are needed now? Just one number. Okay? Is it a vector? The coordinate. In 1 dimensions. Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I understand, but I don't think so. It's a vector.
You don't think it's a vector?
Doesn't have a direction.
Okay, but that's the question. Okay, first you say, okay, is it a vector? Then you say, does it have a direction? That's the right way to go. But are you right to say that there is no direction in 1 dimension? Okay, you are in the middle of the street. Here there's a big square. Okay, and there's a street going this way and a street going that way. This street is called the plus street, and this street is called the minus street. And your friend says, I live in number 3. You ask, which side? On this side or that side? So there is a direction. Because even in one dimension, once you put the origin, there is plus and there is minus. And that's direction. Okay? So there is such a thing as a one-dimensional vector. It's just the situation, the coordinate of a point on a line. Somewhere on the line you put an origin. To the left is minus numbers, to the right is plus numbers. It's just a real line. Okay? So just one number, which is a coordinate, is a vector. It is still different from an ordinary number. How is it different? It has a sign. A number that shows you a coordinate along in a one-dimensional situation, just a line, is a vector, even though it's just one number. Okay? Because it is a plus or minus sign which tells you which way to go. So essentially, a vector is a directed line geometrically.